Let's take a quick look at some of the interesting pennies that sold at the US Signature Auction at the 2024 Fun Show. Let's kick things off with a very popular variety from 1995, one that caused quite a stir when it was first discovered, leading troves of people, collectors, and otherwise to search for it across the country. The best evidence of doubling on this 1995 penny is located on the letters of Liberty, where the doubling should be clearly seen towards the north. Lesser, but still very clear doubling is then also detected on the letters of In God We Trust. At a grade of MS69 red, there are 0 finer graded at PCGS, and the coin was sold at public auction for the price of $2,160. Another phenomenal variety that was featured at the auction was this 1972 Doubled Die Obverse Memorial Cent. Despite the fact that there are numerous varieties to search for in the 1972 penny, this coin is undoubtedly the rock star of the group. The very strong and clear doubling on the numbers of the date alone qualifies this coin for inclusion in the popular Red Book, and the further doubling that can then also be found on the letters of both Liberty as well as In God We Trust leaves no doubt as to the Class 1 or rotated hub doubling that lies at the root of the creation of this variety coin. Graded by PCGS as MS67 red, it was sold at auction for $2,400. It's not too often that you come across major varieties on modern proof coins, so I suppose it's only fitting that when one happens, it should be in a big way. The 1990 No S Lincoln Cent is just such a coin, since all proof sets were minted at the San Francisco Mint in 1990, they should all have the S mint mark on their coins. But the obverse die for this penny was accidentally processed as a proof coin and put into service before anyone noticed. As a result, we now have one of the rare No S proof coins here. This example, graded by PCGS as proof 69 deep cameo, fell under the auctioneer's gavel for $4,800. And then we have a frankly absolutely spectacular example of a popular repunched mint mark variety from the Wheat Cent series. This 1930 S over S variety coin not only retains most of its original red mint luster, has a surprisingly good strike, and survives in a pleasingly high grade. In fact, it's hard to imagine the coin looking any better coming straight out of the San Francisco Mint in 1930. The initial mint mark is clearly still detectable towards the north of the final placement. Not only that, but the top rounding of the first impression is even still seen in the upper cavity of the S mint mark too. With a grade of MS67 red from PCGS, it should come as little surprise then that the coin secured a new record high price of $5,760 for the type. Here we have a coin that was, until very recently, just a few years ago in fact, thought to be just an interesting but a relatively simple doubled die obverse variety. However, closer study of the coin has since proven that this is in fact a 1943 over 2 overdate variety from the San Francisco Mint. The best remnants of the initial 2 can be seen towards the top right of the 3, as well as just below the center section of the 3 as well. Furthermore, the 1, the 9, and the 4 of the dates are doubled towards the southeast. This coin is currently counted as the sole finest example on the population report of its type, at a grade of MS68 from PCGS, and with a final price of $5,760 at auction. It is certain that this is a coin that is definitely worth the effort to look for. The most famous variety coin produced by the US Mint surely has to be the 1955 Doubled Die Obverse Lincoln penny. Much like the 69S that we'll take a look at a little later on, this coin displays extremely wide doubling on the obverse, to the degree that it affects virtually every aspect of the design. It has virtually become the poster child for variety collectors. This coin is an MS64 red graded example from PCGS, and when it fell under the auctioneer's gavel, it managed to secure a closing price of $10,800. While the 1926 S Lincoln Cent is a semi-key date for the series, with a mintage of 4,550,000 coins, it is hardly a rare coin in and of itself. In fact, in lower or circulating grades, it is actually fairly obtainable with a little bit of effort. It is, however, scarce in high mint state grades, and especially so for coins with full red mint luster still intact. This is a prime example of such. With a grade of MS64 red from PCGS, it managed to attain a closing price at auction of $16,800. Then we have an absolutely beautifully toned matte proof 1909 VDB Lincoln Cent. At 1,194 coins struck and delivered, it is certainly not the lowest mintage matte proof coin in the series, but today it is widely acknowledged as the rarest. It's not quite clear how to account for this discrepancy either. Were some of the coins melted down after the redesign? If so, why does no record of that exist? Were they simply lost to time and ignorance, or is there some secret hoard being kept somewhere waiting to be discovered? This example has a grade of proof 65 red-brown from PCGS and exhibits some fantastic toning that secured it a closing price of $21,600 at auction. The 1964 L on ribbon Indian head proof cent is one of the most sought after coins in the series, although you'll need a fairly deep wallet to be able to afford one. Only around 20 coins are thought to exist, spread across 3 different die pairings. This coin is of the PR2 die marriage, most easily distinguished from the PR1 pair by the position of the number 1 in the date, relative to the tip of Liberty's bust. Our current example was graded by NGC as proof 64 red-brown, and at auction it raised $32,400. A true superstar in the Lincoln Cent series and a legend amongst collectors of variety coins alike. This Red Book listed variety is one of the most sought after coins with tremendous crossover appeal with many collectors, making it one of the most valuable coins in the series along the way. The 1969S Doubled Die Obverse Cent is doubled extremely strongly on the obverse of the coin, with every single digit of the date, as well as the letters of liberty and the motto of "In God We Trust," affected by the Class 1 rotated hub doubling that we can see here. And more than just that, there are only a handful of examples of this variety left surviving with full red mint luster, which is why this PCGS graded MS63 red example was sold at auction for a fiery price of $66,000. The 1922 No D penny is somewhat unique as a variety coin, as it is characterized by something that is missing from the design instead of something that has been added or is extra, as seems to be so often the case. In this case, though, it is the missing D mint mark that is supposed to be just below the date, hence the name No D. You see, the Denver Mint was the only mint striking pennies in 1922, and as such, all 1922 1-cent coins should have a D mint mark. But as it turns out, like this coin, some don't. The result of over-polishing a die in an attempt to remove clash marks from the obverse. This example was graded by PCGS as MS64 red-brown and was able to raise a spectacular $72,000 by auction's close. And the most interesting coin on the list is technically, I suppose, not a penny, although then again it also is. Let me explain. This is a mint error known as a mule, where two different coining dies from two different coins were accidentally paired together to create a mismatched coin. In this case, a Lincoln penny obverse from 2001 was matched with a Roosevelt dime reverse, and the coin was struck on a planchet for a Lincoln cent. This is extremely rare, and in the US Mint's more than 230-year history, it has only happened a handful of times. Today, this coin is housed in a PCGS slab with the grade of MS66 red, and at auction it managed to raise $114,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.